Most of us learn real early that there are limitations on passions. We follow a baseball player or a football player, dancer, an actress. There's usually limitations on them based on their physical appearance, on their physical activities, uh, other things. Like I said on the list, access, health, economics, or something else. Yeah. Let's say the actor's part is for a 20-year-old and you're 70. Man, see, it doesn't work. The same thing is also true for a dancer. That doesn't work. But what do you do about it? Well, I've discovered over the years that fortunately I've been someone who's always interested in just about anything. And that's really helped. My husband, unfortunately, is not as adaptable as I am. He was a navigator in airplanes, and he makes model airplanes, but that's not working so well now with Parkinson's. So what I've found is that we have to keep looking. We just have to look. I mean, what if you want to learn to play the recorder? Or you want to, well, of course, there's always books to read. I mean, the only thing you need in life is books and dogs. That's what my t-shirt says. But it's true. There are books to read. There are games to play. I play a lot of solitaire. I do. There are also gardens to be growing, flowers to smell, neighbors to call or bake something for or go visit, people to have lunch with, learning to dance something different than what you loved. There's no question that that can happen. Learning to sew, learning to knit, to crochet. There are just so many things in this world, and especially relationships. Relationships with your cat or your dog, your next door neighbor, your partner, your mother, your aunt. Those relationships really matter a lot. And the older I get, the more I realize how much a relationship really matters. But also, whatever you know, whatever you physically or financially or whatever can't do anymore, teach it. I could teach someone to fly. I can teach it from right here. I don't have to get up in an airplane. I could teach them all kinds of aspects. I've done it before. My husband and I taught kids in middle school. I think they were 6th and 7th graders. It was wonderful. We taught them flying, and then they went flying. That was great. But teaching something is always possible. One of the wonderful things nowadays with the internet is that it doesn't really matter what someone's already teaching. You still have a different perspective, a different way of looking at life. We all have different fingerprints. We're all different. Our fingerprints remind us we're all unique. And so the way you teach something is going to be different than the way someone else teaches it. And you don't have to have diplomas on your wall to teach, not at all. You just have to have a real desire. And how to teach? Oh, piece of cake. I'm going to teach you how to bake a cake. I'm going to show you how to bake that cake. I'm going to show you the finished cake and tell you, go over again, everything I did. That's all, 3 parts, no matter what you're teaching. I'm going to talk to you about swimming. I'm going to show you how people swim. And then I'm going to take you swimming and see what we do together there. I don't have to get in the water. I don't want to. Of course I would. I would desperately love to get in the water. And that's one of the things we have to understand about getting older, is you can get in the water and really do what you need to do, because the water is going to give you some buoyancy. And those kinds of things are really important to realize. There's so many aspects to getting older that are very, very difficult to realize. One of the things that I just discovered today, believe it or not, today, is one of the people on YouTube has a medical doctor, and he has a channel for geriatrics, and he said that you have to hold your hands like this and stand up out of the chair. Can you do it? I said, no. Can you sit back down? And no. And he said, can you stand on one foot? I can do that. Can you open a jar? Yes. Do you have a purpose? Yes. Do you have friends? Yes. Okay, so we're stuck with this issue with getting up and sitting down. Turns out, I live in Ecuador. I was almost 5'10" as a youngster, and now I'm 5'8". So what does that mean? Well, that means that most of the people in Ecuador, most of the women I've seen in Ecuador, are about 5 feet. Well, that's 6 inches, 8 inches, 10 inches. That's quite a bit of difference. My husband's 6'1". All the furniture is low. And it's hard to get up from something when your waist and your knees aren't at least pretty close to having the knees lower than the waist. Not the case. So often when you're sitting in a chair, your knees are significantly higher than your waist. So what I did is I put a pillow in a chair, and guess what? I cross my arms, stand up, cross my arms, stand down. It's no problem. So sometimes we just have to look at the situation. And on that note, one of the things I've found that is so incredibly helpful is keeping your sense of humor. Just keep your sense of humor. If you can laugh at the situation, you can deal with solving the problem more than likely. That's what I do. I try so hard to laugh at the situation so that I can turn it into a problem and solve it. There's also puzzles that need to be put together, and other people who would like to play cards with you, or dominoes, or Monopoly, or Scrabble, or all kinds of things online. I have a friend who has a huge Dungeons and Dragons group that he plays with. So, and I also have people I talk with. I go on deep adaptation, and I believe it's .org. It may be .com. collapsclub.com, earthlistening.com. There are so many different areas that you can find online to connect with people and to connect with ideas. I'm not the only one making videos. I got to tell you, there's 20 million videos a day being uploaded. There are other people out there with ideas for you. So don't give up. Don't get depressed. Don't get fret about things. And don't ever hesitate to call somebody. If you're frustrated and feel like you just need to connect, call somebody, phone somebody, email, WhatsApp, whatever. Keep yourself motivated. Let yourself be yourself. You're not the role you played. You really aren't. That's why I said you could always teach it, but you're not the role you played. You are a human being with lots of experience and ideas, so don't let it go. Do you remember when you were little, how many older people you asked advice from? I sure do. And not only that, you could talk to me if you'd like. At the end of this video, I will have information on Skool, S-K-O-O-L. There's no charge for it. Come, visit with me. We'll talk, okay? Make an appointment if you want, one-on-one. I don't care. Just let me know. We'll talk, okay? Thanks for being here today. And subscribe and like if you care to. You know, that's the game. Thanks.